There is no motivation for me to vote. I don't know what am I voting for.
Yes.
For one thing I can say, me as a young South African, I am not for the ANC. I am not for the DA, but I am for the liberation of South Africa.
I like that.
You understand? We, as a community, I think we should keep the government accountable for what's happening in our community, because there is nothing resourceful.
Government het vir ons kom veil oor die res van ons jare. Vandat ek 'n kind bekom het ek gesien wat government gedoen het. Maar so ouer ek word en ek het hierdie organisasie begin, sien ek hoeveel government vir ons oor die jare. Maar op die een van die dag het een van hierdie partye al ooit gekom en veranderings kom maak. Kyk hoe lyk ons paaie, en hulle het eers dit kom doen nie. Ons het nou 'n paar weke gesukkel met water, maar government het nie kom help nie. My mense het vir my kom vra, Auntie Merlin, waar is die water?
Speak to the foundations and to the organizations, because we are the people who's working with the people, and we know the people's need.
Yeah.
We know what the people want and how we can assist the people. But without the resources of the foundations and the organizations, we can't do that. So they must implement more job skills for our youth, so our youth don't have to sit around on the streets and all that.
Hospitaal is goed, ek roep al nou 3 jaar van my oor, nou as jy hulle, jy kom vir jou oor, jy moet weer begin oor.
Ja.
Dit is so regie.
Ja, ja.
Jy moet weer appointment maak weer. Nee, daar is 'n week vir hulle nie. My vrienden is amper, hy is amper nou 2-3 jaar. En daar is 'n weekie. Ons kan dit baie swaar. Hulle gaan increase, as laat hulle die petrol weer op die visolie op die eiers weer op. So die increase is niks weet nie.
The ANC did something good. Let me tell you what it is. They made 100 millennials in South Africa for the 30 years, and a couple of 100 more multi-millennials.
Over a period of time.
And it's all taxpayers' money.
Hoe is die visibility van SAPS en law enforcement in die area elke dag?
Nee, hulle is nie skooi nie. Ek het eens wel hulle 'n Thames op genie. Hulle kon nie in man hulle hoor. So skietery klas dan kom hulle op iemand lê toe langs die pad dan wil hulle kom.
So hulle is elke dag visible nie.
Nee. Hulle is nou in dan hulle kom in die round maak en weer.
If people wants to vote and they're going to vote, then we're saying the first thing, don't vote for DAPA and all these parties that's funded by Zionists, imperialists, satanic capitalists. Secondly, if we're going to vote and look for the party in this system that is most godly and that will deliver the people from oppression.
Because our children is being sued here, they're being indoctrinated by gangsterism, all this stuff. Because I'm a soccer person. I like to just tell the people that need us playing. They need the facilities for our children.
Do you think it's important to vote?
Yes, I do believe it's important to vote. If you're a South African citizen and you want to see a change this year, going forward, definitely you have to vote.
Even die DA, niks. Altyd was dit vir hulle sien visible as wanneer die election tyd is. En dan word alles gedoen en die beloftes, hulle gee ook net vir wie hulle wil.
I don't think government is doing enough. They're not doing, especially in our colored communities, where the drugs, gangs and violence is. I think recently with all the placards coming up and things like that, it was just another sign of, okay, it's voting time again, people is wanting people to vote, so to keep them in power. But I don't think government is doing enough for our people, and not only for our colored people, but for people in general. But I think we should support each other more, Support small businesses within your community. Very important. We're buying things outside of our community, and our community itself is a broken down community, and we cannot only always expect that people from outside should build our community. We should build it ourselves, So I think we must just give much more love to each other, We must love each other more. We must support other people's children, Our children, they just want hugs. That's all our kids want.
Yes, it's what we need, a better future.
Hospitals, is it okay?
It's difficult, no medication there.
No medication. So it's bad.
It's bad.
So the biggest challenge is unemployment, which is created by crime and which is created by our government officials that are very corrupt. So it's corrupt from the top end until at the bottom. That is why the youth is struggling to get jobs. Services, they try to provide, but it's just that sometimes it's us, the people that we come with problems, you see. Like for instance, where I stay in my area, the ambulance can't come in. So if you are stabbed or you are shot, it's difficult for the ambulance to come there so that you can get help.
I still have a hope that some people are going to get jobs because at the end of the day, there is something happening. Slowly, but not everyone will be accommodated. That's all I can say.
Are you voting?
All these years, they disappoint us.
So you rather keep your voting?
Because they do nothing with the communities and that,
They're not fair enough for me to vote, you see. That's why I'm not interested in so,
Because I'm not working. Why must I vote?
They're corrupt. Everything just goes there in the black. And the colors is like swerving here. Look what we must do. Selling things for life. But we never even get anything from them. So I'm voting for nobody. VF them all.
Yeah, I'm not voting for anyone. Yeah, you can vote. Yeah, it's my right to vote. My democracy right to vote.
It is important to vote. It is definitely important to vote.
It's very important for each and everyone to vote on the 29th. Very important. If you want change, make the cross by the ANC.
Thank you.
Om die waarde te sê, maar daar's nooit weg vir ons se kalletsie. Ons se kinders kry swaas, ons se kinders moet steel. Ons se kinders word rypers, moordenaars. Daar's te veel crime hier in ons land. So ek sê nee. Ek gaan nie vote nie.
Ja. En pa gaan vote vir 'n party, pa koos met 'n sê vir wie gaan pa vote? Ons is seker. Vir die okay. En pas happy met wat hulle doen in die Kaap?
Nogal nie. I got to vote because ons kry niks van vote. Niks difference wat gemaak het.
I think I must vote for ANC because it's our old
regime.
Because everybody the same thing. They want money. Money problems.
Good evening, goeienaand, Mulweni, assalamu alaikum. My naam is Heinrich Wyngaard. My goeie vriend Stan Jacobs het my gevra om die moderator te wees vir die panel discussion vanaand. That's the only hat that I'm wearing this evening as the facilitator or the moderator of this conversation. Ek kom van ver af, so die Engels is min. But the speakers will be allowed to speak in the language of their choice, well, Afrikaans or English. I'm going to start introducing the panel. Hier langs aan my, Mr. Brett Herron van The Good Party. Langs aan hom, Boeta Freddie Adams van the People's Movement for Change. Dan het ons hier vir broer Faiz Jacobs van die ANC. Comrade. Ons het vir Councillor Grant Klaasen van ARA. Dan het ons vir Stan Jacobs, die man van Cape Flats Stories. Langs aan hom, Mr. Ferland Christians from the ACDP. En dan langs aan hom, onze provincial minister van Mobility, Ricardo McKenzie, representing the DA. En dan het ons vir Mr. Marlon Troeter van die UIM. As dit Mr. As die, ek sien die ouers, maar as die ouers skaam. Oh, wy vir die mense. En dan het ons het vir Moulana Khalil van Al Jamaa. En langs aan hom die ou wat sê he needs no introduction. Fadil Adams, leader of Yeah. From the National Colored Congress. This is how it's going to work. This is how it's going to work. We will listen to each other. We will not shout each other down. We are here to engage. We are here to hear what the parties have to share with us. If you want to make a geraas, we will kindly ask you to not make a geraas. Because in order for us to make informed decisions on Wednesday, 29th of May, we need to be able to hear what the parties have to say. Each representative will get 3 minutes to make an introductory statement. Nou as dit so gaan, dan gaan dit te lank aanraak. So we ask all the adults to behave as adults and set an example for the younger ones like myself. But please allow me to introduce Mr. Stanley Jacobs to tell us why we are here tonight, why he saw it fit to arrange, to organize, to put all of this together.
Good evening, can you guys hear me? This started in my dining room, and it was all about giving our people a voice. And it grew, the movement grew, Cape Flat Stories grew. And many of the gentlemen sitting here in the parties I got to know through this journey. En die main ding hierso is om ons mense 'n forum te gee om te praat. Because there was a debate a couple of months back, but many of our people weren't invited. And we want to create a platform for our people and our people in the community to come and speak to the politicians. And that is the reason why I'm here. This is the reason of Cape Flat Stories. And well done to us, for you guys supporting us and for being here. I believe this is going to be a big success. And we're going to go away tonight with more comfortability inside of us. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Mr. Jacobs. What was also telling about the other debate that is referring to, as it was 'n hele die mekaar storie. It was chaos. And that's why we are organizing this event in a holy place, so that hopefully that will influence you to behave differently. So let's start with you, Brett. So let's start by showing that respect that I requested at the beginning, allowing Mr. Brett Herron to do his 3 minutes. And here's the question that I want you to answer in that 3 minutes. How does your party's manifesto relate or speak to the challenges faced daily by people on the Cape Flats?
Well, thank you and good evening. I mean, our manifesto is titled Stop the Suffering. And basically what our manifesto acknowledges is that in 1994, we got rid of an apartheid system and acquired, through a long struggle, a whole lot of freedoms. The freedom to assemble here tonight and debate politically, the freedom to go to an election in 2 weeks' time and vote and participate in a democracy. But much of what was envisaged in 1994 has not reached the majority of South Africans. So if you lived in a gang-infested community in 1994, you're probably still struggling with gangsterism in your community. If you lived with poverty, borrowing food or scavenging for food or desperate for food, you're probably still in a poor community. If you now have an electrical connection, you probably can't afford to buy electricity units because they cost too much. And so although we now have freedoms, many of our communities and Cape Flats communities are struggling daily, hulle kry swaar, and we're saying we must stop the suffering. And our manifesto talks directly to how we can stop the daily suffering of people living on the Cape Flats and living elsewhere across South Africa. If you live in the Western Cape, the DA would like you to believe that we live in a paradise where everything works, where people have got jobs, where the crime rate is going down, probably even where pigs can fly. But the people in the Western Cape are suffering just like the people in ANC-governed provinces. They're suffering every single day, and our manifesto addresses that. And one of the key things that we introduce in our manifesto, and which we've been fighting for a long time, is a basic income grant. We got the job stats yesterday that showed that more South Africans are unemployed than they were at the end of 2023 in the first quarter of this year. And in fact, the Western Cape was the worst performing province in the whole country, losing more jobs than any other province. So while people are unemployed and will remain unemployed for a very, very long time because our economy is not growing fast enough, we're saying that the 9-10 million South Africans who do not have an income because they don't qualify for any social grant and because the economy is not creating jobs fast enough must be given a basic income grant. And we've worked that out at 999 Rand per month. That is what our government can afford. So for people who are unemployed without any income, no access to a social grant, the first thing that we would like to see implemented as a government would be a basic income grant of 999 Rand per month when you are unemployed and unable to meet your needs. So I think our manifesto talks directly to the struggling, the Swarke, the suffering of the people of the Cape Flats and the people across the whole of South Africa. We are all in this together, and the suffering is universal, and we can end it together. If we stop voting along the old lines that we always vote for this party, we always vote for that party, the only way to change your government is to vote it out. And if you're not happy with the way you live, then you need to use the power that you have in 2 weeks' time to vote out the government that has disappointed you. Thank you.
Perfect. So there'll be enough time to do electioneering. Let's now restrict ourselves, Freddie Adams, to 3 minutes on what your manifesto offers the people of the Cape Flats. Hy is aan jy moet net 'n bietjie harder praat.
Dames en here en meneer die moderator. The People's Movement for Change is quite a new party. We've started about 5 months ago because we are sick and tired of the old doing things, the same old. Our manifesto speaks about family, community and opportunities. We believe in strong family values. We believe in building strong communities, communities that can look after themselves, communities that can take the hand, communities that will look after each other. Like in the olden days, your child is my child, and we should care about each other. But also create the opportunities for our young people, because for far too long we have sat with people that is 75 years old deciding on youth matters. Now how the hell does a person of 75-year-old decides on youth matters? We say let the youth have a voice, but also with the youth having a voice, let the youth also let us, the older generations, create the opportunity for the youth to move forward. Let us, the older generation, says we can advise the youth, we can be there as mentors, but it's by time that the youth and the woman takes its rightful place. We believe that when a woman comes into power, things are happening because a woman knows how to multitask, a woman knows how to get things done. You know, as they say in the church, my brother, the brothers are the braggers and the women are the workers. So that is part of what we believe. We believe in creating strong communities, communities that does not have to beg, borrow and steal, does not have to go and stand for handouts. As the government has failed us of the day, we say let's take hands, make things right in South Africa. Time for change has arrived, and the time for change is now. 29th of May is around the corner, and we call on all people to make that necessary change. Take the quantum leap, take the quantum step, make the change. Don't think with your heart, think with your mind, think with your brain, and take that step. Because what has happened, and we look at just our colored children. Where is the jobs that has been promised in 1999, 94? Where's the jobs? The Lolo, as Fadil would have said, what? But we say, give the People's Movement a chance. We are not saying we will take over South Africa immediately, because this elephant you need to eat piece by piece. And once you eat it piece by piece, you can then devour and then slaughter this monster which is there called this government of the day. Are you the timekeeper, ma'am?
Thank you.
Serious?
Thank you, Mr.
Okay.
Adams. Mr. Jacobs.
Good evening, everybody. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Respected brothers and sisters, Slekom here in Plaintevis. I grew up in this area. I bring you warm greetings from the African National Congress. Our manifesto is very clear. We're focusing on our people. Before I start with our manifesto, I just want to say we thank Cape Flats for the invite, but I want to put it out up front that we don't endorse this German foundation. We support Palestine and the right to self-determination. We don't support any Zionist movement, and we condemn Zionist supporting organizations. The plight of our people is real, and we won't be sold for 2 cents. We are part of this debate because we value diversity and we value the authenticity of Cape Flats, but in no way or shape or form that we will support any Zionist organization. Let me get back. I'm using my minutes. But the key thing for us is jobs, creating work for our people, get South African working, investing in our people, look at skills development. As the African National Congress, we acknowledge the achievements, both the mistakes and the weaknesses that we have. But the African National Congress is the family for all our people. It represents the broad church, broad mosque for a non-racial, inclusive, non-sexist South Africa. We have a 6-point plan that focuses on getting South Africa working. We have a plan that look at inclusive economy. You have given the DA power in the Western Cape, and they have failed our people here in Mitchell's Plain. And we have a plan. It's the DA that don't support a social wage. We support like good the basic income grant. It's the whole cost of living is a big issue. We want to ensure that we bring down the cost of living. We also want to ensure that we don't be part of a regime change agenda. There's a lot of money going around to smaller parties and DA light. Their main agenda is to change and to take and derail our freedom and democracy. We will defend this democracy and we will improve this democracy. We also have a strong agenda of working in Africa and making Africa. Can I be protected?
Please allow, as we've agreed at the beginning, our speakers to speak. You will get your opportunity to have your say.
In short, the African National Congress is the organization that have both the capacity and the willingness to serve all our people. We bring a non-racial, non-sexist agenda to South Africa. Here in Mitchell's Plain, we know that the DA has failed on housing. They've spent 2 billion rand back. They failed on the transport. They just want to close 7 the land taxi rank here. So the failures of the DA is massive. Are you the timekeeper? We have a plan for energy. Here, the DA is using unconstitutional ways to take the little money that you have. You will buy a 10 rand. They use that to deduct from your debt. That is unconstitutional. That must change. We need a new government that cares for our people. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Councillor Claassen.
Thank you. Thank you, Stan, and everybody. It's good to be with you tonight. Look, I think our manifesto speaks to one thing and one thing only, is to fixing South Africa. Now, unlike my colleagues to the left and the right, there's been a rallies in the political field for quite a while. Of course, we see that nothing really has changed. In actual fact, what happened, the country has gone worse from bad to worse, and that's the reality of it. So not coming from a political background, let me keep it real. We need jobs in South Africa. Before we tackle poverty, before we tackle houses, before we tackle all the other ills that we are facing, we need jobs. Now, a lot of people will tell you here, yes, we need jobs. The key is not, and the key question should not be that we need jobs. It should be, how do we create jobs? So everybody know what we need, but the key question is, how do you actually do it? And you know, I said these words to the DA councillor on the show last week. I'm coming from a Christian background and from a business background. And if these relics has done their job, then my God, I could have continued to run my business. I didn't have to come into politics. But for God's sake, somebody have to come and do their work for them. So I'm saying, as our manifesto speaks to one thing, to fix South Africa, complete focusing on jobs. And we are proud to announce that when ARA takes leadership of this country, we want to lift up every pensioner by giving them a minimum grant per month of 7,500 rand. Because we believe that pensioners are the ones that has laid the foundation, they have labored, and we believe that pensioners need much more than what they are getting right now. For some of you sitting here, it might sound that it's unachievable, but our research have shown if the money can disappear and the money can go into coffers of politicians, why not give it back to our people? For God's sake, let's get this country right.
Okay, let's now listen to Mr. Christians of the ACDP. Thank you.
Thank you very much for the opportunity. Thank you that you invited us to be here, part of the panel. Let me say a couple of things. Our slogan for this year, for the 2024 election, is SOS, Service, Order and Safety. Now, let me tell you, and let me become real. Ek is 'n kind van Bondewil. Ek weet wat het is om so hard te kry. Ek het Saterdag was ek in Khayelitsha om te gaan werk daar in Khayelitsha om te canvas. I had a guy pointing a gun at me and the gun jammed 3 times. So ek weet wat het is om so te lewe. Die ander ding wat ek wil sê nou vandag is that we are very strong when it comes to safety. And we're very strong when it comes to employing our youth. Saturday morning while I was walking in the retreat, I sat on the ground there with youngsters. Our youngsters sitting there on the floor from 18 to 22, no jobs, no hope. En ek sit daar met hulle en ek praat met hulle. En ek sê daar's mos meer vir julle man. Julle hoef nie so te sit nie. So the ACDP has a solution and we believe in empowering small business and entrepreneurship. Die dat sy vir 'n baas moet gaan werk, waar ons groot geword het gesê, gaan werk vir die government, gaan werk. No, we must tell our people, you can empower yourself by starting small business. And government must cut the red tape when it comes to small business. Ons mense kan baas wees van hulself. And we need to break that chain of poverty. And we need to motivate our youngsters. Now, when I look at gangs, ons almal weet wat gangs is. As ons 'n broersie gangsters was nie, dan was ons 'n uncle gangsters. En drank was 'n probleem. So I'm talking about experience and people sitting here saying, but you don't stay there anymore. I want to improve myself so that I can improve my children. When I stayed in Mitchell's Plain here, a bullet missed us while we came out of our house. So ek praat die waarheid hierso. And I'm telling you today, the ACDP is strong on biblical values, very, very strong on family. Family is the cornerstone. Nie die nonsense wat comprehensive sexual education, unisex toilets, and jy weet nie as jy 'n boy of a girl is nie. We are strong because government is trying to destroy the family, so the ACDP will protect the family. So because we know this is the cornerstone of any community. If you have a strong family, you have a strong community, and that is where we must start. Let me just say the following. When I walked in Steenberg, now I cannot believe when the media reports 47 deaths in 48 hours, is awesome mense wat sterwe. And I've called the generals in. I'm telling you, the ACDP's got a plan, and we'll talk about that plan, how to talk to neighborhood watchers, because communities is the solution. Nie klomp policemanne in te bring nie. We need to get our communities to work and function and take up their rightful place. Ek soek die dae waar ons jong was waar ons met open vensters geslaap het, with no problem.
Mr. McKenzie?
Thank you. I can first of all say I obviously don't subscribe to the views of my colleague next door to me, because the Constitution is we are united in our diversity. So I don't subscribe to some of the sentiments that is made. But the two things that I have to say. First of all, as the DA, we love jobs, Mr. Heron. We love jobs in the Western Cape. And the last year, it's interesting, Mr. Heron quote the last quarter statistics, because the statistics for the last year, Mr. Heron, which I know that you know because you tweeted about it, has still shown that we are the lowest unemployment in the country. It still shows for the year under review, we've still created a lot of jobs in the Western Cape. So the world's biggest social program is a job. The world's biggest social program is a job. And the DA-led Western Cape government continue to invest in jobs. One of the programs we've just enabled is our job seeker travel voucher. Our job seeker travel voucher enable anyone, including you, Ms. Little, the good member who's talking. If you have an interview, you can get onto a bus, any one of you. You can get onto a bus, go to an interview free of charge. That is how we enable job creation in the Western Cape. Our program is not, our program is intentional.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. Asseblief julle nee, en is jou eie mense hier voor ook, by the way. Nee.
They're overexcited about the program, but guys, please behave. Yeah.
Yeah, sorry to interrupt you. Please continue.
Thank you very much. So we're intentional about enabling job creation. The 800,000 jobs pledge that we created, this job enabled program, like our job seeker travel voucher, is already working. If you watch my TikTok videos of the last few days, and I know many of you have, you see the number of young people, including yesterday, from Mitchell's Plain, who got a job. Here in Mitchell's Plain. Tyler in Strandfontein, Rihanna in Westridge, who got a jobs enabled by our job seeker travel voucher. The second thing that we're doing, coupled with what my colleague is saying, we're making and working towards making our community safer. But it does not only stop with us. Our 1,300 LEAP officers are doing the work of 20,000 South African police officers. 2 days ago, we were with our neighborhood watch. In fact, last night we were with our neighborhood watch, and thank you to our neighborhood members and those that participate in keeping our community safe. 5 people were shot in Rocklands, in the area that we are. But those 5 people were killed in Rocklands by gangsters, probably some of them who were out in bail. My colleague there in the ANC is talking about their program. All of you knew a few months ago, 12 guns were stolen from Mitchell's Plain police station. It is not the first time that has happened. 2 years ago, 12 guns were also stolen from Mitchell's Plain police station. No consequences, no one went to jail, and these are the guns finding itself into our communities, killing our children. The persons that could have helped solve that problem were the stable police management. Mitchell's Plain police station, as you all know, over the last 2 years, 4 different brigadiers. It is impossible for the police station to run. They've taken Gulam was retired. They didn't want Gulam to extend it.
Yeah, we will allow you to elaborate later. Let's please continue to the next speaker.
Good evening, everybody. And thanks again, Stanley, and everybody for inviting the UIM. Our core for our manifesto is jobs and justice. Firstly, I'd like to say justice in this country sucks. You cannot have someone that does not have knowledge of wearing a uniform going out onto the streets. You cannot have a minister or an MEC that's a comedian being an MEC in Cape Town, in the city of Cape Town, or of the province. You look at this specific province is going for a total ball. I've made 4 phone calls last week to a police station. That same evening, 2 burglaries were done. with that same vehicle that was parked outside my door. How do you get that right? 4 phone calls. Anyway, so crime, eradicate crime, eradicate corruption, change the government to competent people to run this country. People that are educated and competent. If you run this country as if you're going to run a business, this country will thrive. Thank you.
Thank you. Lama.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Good evening to everybody. And again, good evening to all my colleagues. The Al Jamaa Party, our core manifesto for this year's election is that South Africa need Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala more than ever. South Africa is a beautiful country with a lot to give, a lot of resources. Absolutely beautiful country. We are not going to let this country crash. South Africa needs Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, our creator, my creator, your creator. South Africa, Cape Town, needs the lifestyle of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, the final prophet, the seal of prophethood, the best of prophets. He said one day that I leave behind for you 2 things. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, I leave for you 2 things. If you hang on to these 2 things, if you cling on to these 2 things, you will never crash, you will never go astray. And those 2 things are the Quran, the Holy Quran, and the Sunnah, and the way of life of the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Those are my introductory remarks. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Mr. Adams.
Chair, I just want to appeal to the audience to just calm down on the heckling, please, man. It's going to be hard for Ricardo Mackenzie to be heckled and lie at the same time tonight. The issue at hand is the manifesto. I want to tell you something tonight. The only manifesto written specifically for the need of the colored community was brought to you by the National Colored Congress. When it became apparent that colored children were dying because of unemployment, it is us who shut down businesses so colored people could work. Our manifesto guarantees colored people 50% of all jobs in the Western Cape because that is who we are. This is not a party of lies and spin and 20 years of promises. If you want to judge our manifesto, judge our actions. When the Democratic Alliance kept colored children out of schools, we forced them in. That is our manifesto promise. When we speak about empowerment, go and see what we've done. When we talk about upskilling our children, come and visit our office. We produce hairdressers. In town center, yes. In short, I want to say to you that nothing in our manifesto is nothing that we cannot do. It's all there. To the left, sit promises galore. I want to say to the Honorable MEC of Transport that the free travel voucher to find a job was tabled by Councillor Fadil Adams of the NCC 2 years ago. The Democratic... I did not interrupt you, sir. It's in the council minutes. The Democratic Alliance claimed that idea months before the election. If you want my team to start heckling when he speaks, you keep it up. I want to say to you, as I sit here now, The constituency head for Mitchell's Plain has been deployed to take his boss's beating tonight, and he's going to get it. Because this man is in charge of Mitchell's Plain. Tonight he will account for the town centre being the crap hole that it is. Tonight he will account for Tafelsig not having pavements yet. Tonight he will explain to us why we waited 15 years for my city. It's going to be an uncomfortable night, friend. But I must say, your manifestos for the most part, guys, and most of you didn't even bother to speak about it, has been disappointing. We are here tonight to address Mitchell's Plain. I'm not hearing a thing said about the DA's base, the people that die by their votes. The man speak to us about Leap. Wasila, hou jou mond, man. Sy is nie groot genoeg om hier te sit nie. The manifesto. Councillor Christians, can you please tell the councillor that the adults are speaking? Can I be protected? Chair, can I be protected? Because I can't keep responding to that Zionist sympathizer sitting there. So I sien hulle kom as 'n doekies op nou dame.
No.
No. She wants to play, let's play.
So it wouldn't be fair, Mr. Adams, if I expect from the audience to respect the speakers and then you taking swipes at people in the audience.
Can I apologize? But again, not one of my members heckled when anybody was speaking. Okay. I am trying to bring my point across, and the sellouts over there are heckling. Now, I say it to you now, we can be as abrasive as we want to, but he's going to get a hiding tonight, and they must accept it. I'm done.
I'm allowing you to apologize because you asked to apologize.
I have apologized, Chief. And I've given her the warning that they will respect me when I speak because I'm holding my people back. As you can see, they've been very respectful when everybody has spoken. So we expect the same. Now, we understand if it was a white person speaking, they shut up. I'm not white, but I do expect the same respect.
So I didn't think we're going to go down the racist
Neither did I,
route.
Chief.
Because even when there's a heated debate, we should try to stay true to what the Constitution.
Chief, I did not lie once. You must see how they speak to their masters.
Okay. All right, Fadil, I thank you for your contribution. I'm going to give Mr. Jacobs an opportunity to put a question to any of the panelists, and then I'm going to give the panelists an opportunity to respond to one issue that was raised against you or for you by your fellow panelists. Mr. Jacobs, stand.
Thank you. Can you guys hear me?
Ek gaan kom by jou.
Okay. The question I want to ask the panel is very simple. We are living in, it's horrific places that we're living in, Manenberg, Mitchell's Plain, wherever. We never hear, the DA was here recently, the ANC was here recently, and everybody comes to the Mitchell's Plain for votes. But what is your plan in business-wise? How are you going to stimulate the business in Mitchell's Plain? How are you going to rebuild? Because let's face facts. Mitchell's Plain is not operating the way it should be operating. We have a high crime rate. I was in Mitchell's Plain on Saturday. People are living homeless. People are afraid to live, to walk around. How are you guys going to fix Mitchell's Plain as one of the areas? Because if you can't fix Mitchell's Plain, then you can't fix South Africa. Face it.
Okay, so just to be clear, the question is about what parties will do with regards to stimulating business. Again, I will give you an opportunity to respond to what was said previously. But Diana, asseblief, business, Brett, we'll start with you. Thanks.
Look, I mean, the spatial segregation that exists today is a legacy of apartheid. Mitchell's Plain is a creation of apartheid, a place to dump people during forced removals of the Group Areas Act. And a core part of the good offering is to address that spatial injustice. And addressing that spatial injustice means integrating communities that were previously white or reserved for white South Africans or where people were removed from, but also developing areas where people live, because obviously it's not practical to move the 1 million people that live in Mitchell's Plain to a new community, and many of them don't want to move anyway. But what development is taking place in the Cape Flats? Now, I'll give you one example. Government can actually stimulate development and business in communities on the Cape Flats using government infrastructure and government funding. The DA Western Cape government took out a 200 million rand lease of a AAA grade building in the city centre for their education department. Now, if they'd taken 200 million rand and built their head office in Mitchell's Plain, that would have stimulated business in Mitchell's Plain. Because as soon as you've got all those head office people arriving in Mitchell's Plain every day to come to work, they're going to want to eat lunch, they want to buy food, they want to have their clothes dry cleaned, they want to have their hair done during lunch break. And so you stimulate business in a community by government taking the lead. You didn't need, the Western Cape government and any government department doesn't need to be in the CBD paying a landlord, a private developer, 200 million rand a year to lease fancy office space when you can build a brand new building in Mitchell's Plain and stimulate the economy here by bringing thousands of people here every single day to work and creating jobs in Mitchell's Plain for the people who live here.
Freddie Adams.
Thank you. Moderator. I think the People's Movement for Change is calling for an economic Odessa. Why? Because we've got political freedom, but we haven't got economic freedom. And to stimulate Mitchell's Plain, both governments, the DA and the ANC, has failed our people in stimulating businesses, in creating the opportunities for small business. If you look at a country like India, 88% of India's economy and India's GDP is coming from small business. Now we've got white elephants in Mitchell's Plain, but white monopoly capital are controlling the business in Mitchell's Plain. Instead of sharing up the pie amongst the small business in a place like Mitchell's Plain. We've got a Department of Small Business and all that, which my great friend here next to me is the whip of it. But where is that money going? Are they ever touching Mitchell's Plain? Are they creating the jobs? Are they taking people by the hand? The minute a small business starts, it gets successful maybe for a month. A month after that, they come with all the red tape that there is. Even the DA, when Alan Winde was the MEC for economic development, he promised a whole lot of things. Now he is the premier. All the promises has gone out the window. What is the DA currently doing? They are bringing white monopoly capital into the colored areas to kill small businesses in colored areas. The People's Movement for Change says that needs to stop right now. Enough is enough. Give Mitchell's Plain, give the colored areas what they deserve and what belongs to them. If not, we'll take it by force. Thank you.
You know, we need to create a circular economy where the money is circulated in our townships, in our areas. What happens now, most of the money, we're shopping at the malls and most of the money leaves. So we work on weekends, all the money goes out. We need to buy local and we need to support local businesses. What the DA does here in the city of town centre, they've removed all of the local informal traders. They actually chase them away. The DA hates small businesses. The DA doesn't care about small businesses. The whole town centre used to have an informal trader settlement. They chased them away of Gatesville. They chased them at districts, at the parade. What we have as the ANC, we have a township economy focus. If you look at Gauteng, they focus on Soweto and the big townships, and they're investing a lot of resources. Mitchell's Plain is a township. It is, and we could also look at how do we create a local economy where we stimulate. Your property can be both an asset, but it also can be a business opportunity. Tuisbedryf, home businesses is what we are having. The national government is spending about 2 billion rand on small businesses, creating wealth, spaza shops, hair, all of those things. We've started with outreach programs in Mitchell's Plain. and we need to create more opportunities for our people here on Mitchell's Plain. We can be our own entrepreneurs. Why is it that we must shop at the malls? The malls are taking all the money out. We need to have a policy which says malls, 40 or 50% of the malls must have local businesses in place. What the city has no preferential procurement policy for black and African and colored people. They continue giving most of their work for their friends, for jobs for their friends. There's no local here in Mitchell's Plain. There's no empowerment for local businesses because the DA has jobs for their pals. If the ANC comes in power, we will bring back the 40% black preferential power so that we can support all our people. That's what we'll do. What we'll also do is create local economic development forums so that our people can be part of the ownership. Why is it that we must just be subcontractors? Why is it that colored and black and African workers are good enough to be doing the work, but they don't get the tenders? Even in the construction mafia, okay, thank you.
No, finish that thought, thanks.
I'm just making the point around, we can get our opportunities. Colored people, African people must also be given opportunities to be the bosses in the economy.
When they're done, can I go?
I beg your pardon?
If the ACDP can get to order, then we can start talking.
Okay.
Somebody's shouting the ACDP. All right. Look, let's get to the bread and butter issues of Mitchell's Plain. Let's not cut, let's cut to the core issue here. The core issue of Mitchell's Plain is always three things: unemployment, crime, and jobs. These three things, we know the DA and the ANC has decimally failed. We cannot, I always say these words: people deserve who they vote for. Finish and clear. And if people are going to vote for these relics that have been useless over the years, then they're going to deserve these people again. So the issue here is that how do you fix it? It's very easy. First and foremost, to get job goings, we need to focus on small businesses. And the town center that looks like the dog's bum must get up and running again. The DA has failed the town center year in and year out. We're sitting in meetings, things have been planned, budgets has been put in place, but nothing come to fulfillment. I was on the town center about a month ago, and I'll be honest with you, it's a filthy place, it's dirty, it's not been looked after, and it's a place that was the glory of Mitchell's Plain in the former years. And now people are running to your mainline shopping centers where big businesses is benefiting from our local trade. That is one of the issues that must be corrected. Number two, you're looking at all the foreign, illegal foreigners that's running house shops. My God, how could we have allowed that to happen? It is amazing. I've got somebody sitting in the audience. When he opened up a house shop, within 2 weeks he was closed down because of permit issues. Yet the same people in the same road, which is illegal foreigners, have the same house shop for 3 years and nothing has been done. How biased is this DA that we are having in the Western Cape? I'm going to tell the DA straight up. In a sea of poverty, my God, how can we have an island of opportunity with you guys here? So these things that we are speaking about is not pie in the sky things. It's things that is easy and it's things that can get done. Now, last but not least, when we talk about homes, it is sad. The houses they build for our people. I think the dogs in Constantius has got better houses and kennels than what they are building our people. They are telling our people that you are not qualified to own a car because the yard, there is no space for a car. They're telling our people you are not qualified to have the luxuries because the house is so small. Our brown families are big. We are not 2 and 3 people to build our people's start homes. Then they put draconian laws in place, not for our people to even expand their homes. This nonsense must come to an end and the DA must go.
Please keep my mic open so that I can just direct the speakers to stay on the issue at hand. Mr. Christians?
Ja, my hart is hier as ek stap hier so in Mitchell's Plain en ek sien 10 o'clock in die oggend sit tussen youngsters op die hoeke. Now, you know, engaging with them, they will tell you, we are looking for jobs and we cannot find jobs. And that's why the ACDP believes strongly that we have enough qualified people to give them a stipend and get our youngsters off the street, give them a 6-month course so that they can be employable. Now you'll ask me, where is the money? The Western Cape government had a 1.2 billion rand safety plan, and we are not safe. So I'm saying, when you vote for the ACDP, we will make sure we are against injustice of anybody, any person. We are against that. So let me just say the following. Oh, your mond. Sit still. Oh, your mond. So all that I'm saying is, we need to get our youngsters off the street. I said this the other day when I walked in Manenberg. The youngster sitting on the street corner said to me, "Meneer, gaan jy vir my geld gee? Die gangster gee vir my 2000 rand om 'n lookout te wees." We need to create opportunities for our young people. We need to turn this around, and the ACDP is determined to turn it around in order that our young people can find jobs. And I say it again, we must tell our young people, julle kan julle eie baas wees. Moenie gaan werk vir 'n baasie. You've got a God-given ability to become your own boss. And the ACDP believes solving unemployment is empowering small businesses. And that is what we want to do.
Thank you, Mr. Christians. Now, please, sir, you had your opportunity. We can come back to you. We can come back to you, Mr.
Out and said he can't do it. Otherwise, what are we doing here? I hope he doesn't speak to his wife like that. Because that tells me a lot about this guy sitting next to me. When Fadil spoke about Tuashila, you told Fadil
let me handle this. Mr. Christians, you have an opportunity to apologize.
You see.
No,
I want to apologize. You're not even giving me opportunity.
Okay, but don't. Yeah.
I do apologize. Will you sit down, please? I do apologize.
No, Mr. Christians. Yeah. Yeah, but it's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
I am a Christian. That is correct.
Okay. Let's. Okay. So.
What?
So. Okay. Excuse me, sir. Sir. Sorry, sir. Excuse me. Hello. So ons gaan 'n opportunity gee vir jou en hy broer daar agter. Kyk gou vir my wat aan mekaar skree. You can say what you have on your chest when we're giving the audience an opportunity. Maar moenie aan mekaar. Okay, but you're going to repeat that. Okay. All right. Okay. So if you came to disrupt this, if you came to disrupt this panel discussion, so you will get an opportunity to speak the truth when I thought you came because you heard that we invited parties. Asseblief meneer, jy kan nou gaan aan so lanker wat jy wil en dan kan ons verder gaan met die conversation. Oh, come on. No,
Guys, can we
just do that.
We can give everybody a chance. Thank you.
Okay. As jy Boeta nou ry, kan ons aangaan? No, you're the only one shouting. Kom nou asseblief. Okay, Mr. Mackenzie.
Can I just say, first of all, I just wanted to say, Fadil, unfortunately, you're not speaking the truth. We started the Job Seeker Travel Voucher.
I'll send you the video.
You can send us the video, but we started it and it's working very well. But any initiative to enable job creation, we welcome. Any initiative to enable job creation, we welcome. The second point I wanted to make, The second
It's
point
okay.
I wanted to make.
So let's.
The second point I wanted to make.
Even if you think a lie is being told, that listen anyway.
The second
Listen
point I
anyway.
wanted to make is when we started, and I mean the issue, and I think the two people made the point. The reason we started the LEAP offices, let's just talk safety, is because we're not a government that said handjies gevou. The reason we started it is because we wanted it to make our communities safer. In order to get a safer you need to make safe first. You need to make safer for businesses to thrive. If you look at the issue that was raised about the town center, we're now back at 85% business confidence level compared to 20% before COVID. So we had to start, we had to make our communities safer in order for businesses to thrive. If you
I'm
look
hearing
at
business,
youth
so
employment
listen.
and what we are doing, many people in this room know and will continue to do it. You have to, the youth unemployment is the highest in the world. What we're doing as the Western Cape government, again, we don't sit handjies gevou. We've launched a matric learners program that help matriculars to get employment when they graduate matric. We are the first government in this country to run the program. And I know there are many parents who sit here whose children is on the program. It helps make them employable when they finish matric. Because we know you cannot just finish matric without just you can't get a job without just a matric certificate. When you talk about infrastructure development is exactly what is...
Mr. Mackenzie. The question that was raised by Mr. Jacobs is how your party will stimulate business in the Mitchells Plain area.
Yes. So three things. Let
It's
me
like
tell
a
you.
long
Okay.
drive.
Let me bring you back to the two key things. One, if you know what's happening in Mitchells Plain, there's a new call center in Mitchells Plain. There's a new call center in Mitchells Plain at Watergate Shopping Center. The call center was enabled by the installation of Mitchells Fibre that we all know. Mitchells Fibre came to Mitchells Plain because the DA-led government invited companies to operate in places like Mitchells Plain. So that has enabled that call center to employ 200 people from Mitchells Plain at Watergate Center. The second development that happened, Shadow Careers also opened up there at Watergate. I mean, you don't have to like the answer, but it's the truth. The third one that happened is the development of our labs at Westridge. We continue to have young people currently employed and trained. Amazon that is currently opening up in Observatory. The people that is going to be employed at Amazon are being trained right here at Westridge and Mitchells Plain. The CCTV cameras installed at Townsend is making it safer. So the way you attract business development to Mitchells Plain is like the Shadow Careers, Sigma. That's how, but you make it safer for people to come to Mitchells Plain. And the infrastructure that's being developed, like the MyCity bus service, help and invite people to come to places like Mitchells Plain. And that is how you develop places like Mitchells Plain.
Thank you.
Okay, it's very simple to get employment back into Mitchells Plain and into other areas as well. Firstly, open training centers where our youth can go, where they can be educated. Training centers where we can take them, make them carpenters, teach them bricklaying. Brother, I never bothered you when you spoke. Secondly, the DA needs to stop their nepotism. When they start their projects, their friends and family get smoked in. Hulle word ingesmokkel. Even in council it happens. So that needs to stop. So guys, it's very simple. To empower, we need to educate. And once we've got that ground roots foundation ready, we can uplift any community. Thank you.
Cape Town in South Africa is engulfed in the fear of unemployment. Even people in employment is scared and has the fear of becoming unemployed. I'm going to share with you now. I'm going to share with you now how to solve not only unemployment, but how to solve all our problems in South Africa.
Dankie julle.
I'm not going to sit here tonight and make promises to everybody. What we need to share with our communities is the promises of our Creator, is the promises of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَعَدَ اللَّهُ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا مِنْكُمْ. The promise of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if we bring complete belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, وَعَمِلُوا الصَّالِحَاتِ, and we bring complete worship to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, لَيَسْتَخْلِفَنَّهُمْ فِي الْأَرْضِ. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will put us again in control. كَمَا اسْتَخْلَفَ الَّذِينَ مِنْ قَبْلِهِمْ. Like Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala previously has given us leaders that has made decisions of mercy onto the masses. Furthermore, وَلَا مِنْ قَبْلِهِمْ وَلَا يُبَدِّلَنَّهُمْ مِنْ بَعْدِ خَوْفِهِمْ أَمْنًا. In all the fear that we have, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will turn all the fear, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will turn it into peace and safety for everybody. So what we need to do as a community is we need to complete our belief in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and we need to complete our worship in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If we do those two things, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will fulfill His promises, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will turn all our fear, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will turn it into peace.
Thank you.
Shukran.
Thank you, Mr. Moderator. I just want to start off by saying it's actually an awesome feeling to hear so many panelists quote what you've been saying for the last 5 years or so. It's a real pity they left it for months before the election. You know who you are. So, how will we stimulate business in Mitchell's Plain? I believe that was the question. Well, first of all, we'll stop the madness. Driving into Mitchell's Plain on Vanguard Drive, Jakes Gerwel, what do you see? You see 100 informal traders selling the things that they've produced with their own hands, making money. No sign of law enforcement and intimidation. Let a colored auntie or a colored lady try to sell loose onions on the town center. Then law enforcement is there to harass, arrest, and to confiscate. As the NCC, we say that we will relax these apartheid-era bylaws that keep our people shackled in poverty. That colored people will not be targeted for the sin of trying to make a living. That's number one. And before Ricardo says it's the law, I just want to remind him that the city of Cape Town, with respect to the LGBTQ community, was painting road signs in their honor, breaking their own bylaws, saying, it's just a bylaw. We want to say that we want continuity and fairness for all. We'd like to say that the Mitchell's Plain Town Center, the economic hub of the colored people, has been allowed to regress, to force us to go and shop at the promenade with the big stores. Our economy has been taken from our hands by these fine people systemically. We want to restore it, but they won't allow us to. It's why they must go. Now I want to say to you, when we try to empower our people by any means necessary, it is his colleague, the mayor of the city of Cape Town, who took the NCC to court to stop colored people from working. You can deny that too.
So tell us how you're stimulating business in Mitchell's Plain.
What was that, sir? How are you stimulating? You didn't stop anyone else, but that's fine. It's fine. It's fine. What we are saying, sir, is that in this province, I'm going to use Manenberg as an example. No, it's okay. I'm used to being targeted. I'm going to use Manenberg as an example. The School of Skills was supposed to be built 3 years ago. The Democratic Alliance awarded the tender to the wrong people. 6 million rand. A colored female was cheaper than Ho and Ingalls. Their friends that have been found to have given gangsters tenders in the City of Cape Town money. When the colored female went to court, the Democratic Alliance admitted before the court that it had broken 7 of its own procurement rules to sidestep a colored female. The court ordered them to go and revisit their decision, to do the right thing. 3 years later, they still haven't awarded the contract to the right person, all because big white business was not allowed to work. Now, as the NCC, what we will do is make sure that fairness and fairness wins every time. As the NCC, we are saying that colored skills will be recognized, and our people will be given an opportunity to be more than just subcontractors. Listen to what I'm saying to you. In the Atlantic Seaboard, they've got 3 stadiums built by colored people as laborers and subcontractors. Mitchell's Plain, with 1.2 million people, does not have a stadium of its own. What they're saying to us is, A, you will not enjoy yourself. B, you will not sell your wares. 3, none of you will benefit. We are saying as the NCC that as soon as the Democratic Alliance is gone, the colored community can start looking forward to progress. Okay. Wait, moderator, I'm not done. Please bear with me. On the issue of free transportation for job seekers, he's denying it. I promise you, I commit to posting the video tomorrow where I raise it in council, and then I expect a full apology from my colleague over here. Thank you.
I actually want to just deal with this free transport thing. First of all, it was launched by Patricia de Lille and me when I was the mayoral committee member for transport in 2017. The DA likes to relaunch things over and over and over again. And let me just say this, the way that they've launched it now is the most difficult thing to use. First of all, you need an employer to register you as a person who's coming for an interview. Then you get a voucher from that employer to get on a bus to go to an interview. The system that we launched in 2017, you could get on the bus during off-peak any single day of the week to go and do whatever you liked. You did not need a voucher.
So,
it failed dismally.
It didn't fail, you stopped it. You stopped it, it didn't
That's
fail.
why we launched it to be successful. That's why people are getting jobs at the moment.
Nobody is getting a job because of a voucher. Nobody is getting a job because of a voucher. No one is getting a job because of a voucher.
It was 100%, Brett, and you know it. That's why we've got the lowest unemployment in the country at the moment.
You know why it stopped? Because you stopped running the MyCity bus to Mitchell's Plain.
No, it stopped because you have failed as a mayoral member to get it done properly. We're dealing with your mistakes right now.
The DA announces the same things over.
Okay. So
Just listen quickly. Thank you.
So here's the best part. I will start with the good party for you to ask a question. And then I want to see hands of the other parties. We can only take one question per party delegation. Are you with a party, sir, or individual? Which party? You're with the individual party. Which party, sir? Excuse me? NCC? Okay, please remain standing. So let's just first do the parties and then others will get an opportunity. ANC at the back. Do we have a roving mic to... Okay, so... Let me see the other parties. Which party? DA and DA. So we'll take one DA, one good, NCC, okay, ANC, Al-Jama, yeah. Okay, so we're going to do that round first. No speeches. I will take the mic away. No speeches, a question, please.
No, let me keep
Okay. Well, maybe not everyone has done that, so let's hear the question. Please go ahead, sir.
Okay, right, okay. To the DA out here, if education is so important, if health is so important to our people here in Mitchells Plain, our people here on the Cape Flats, why did you take 1 billion rand away from education, from health, and put it into safety? Your safety plan sucks. Your safety plan doesn't work. We still have people that is dying out here on the Cape Flats. Our children does not have, we lost teachers in our schools.
Yeah.
We lost.
No, but he knows what you're talking about, so we got the question. Okay. Let's go to the next party. Thank you.
This question is rather go to the MEC of Transport. I'd like to ask Ricardo, since the city of Cape Town has been fighting, the DA has been fighting for the development of rail, how will you bring back rail since you are so systematic?
Yeah, that's okay. The party can ask whichever question they want to ask. You're welcome to ask a question to anyone. NCC?
This country is currently experiencing democratic regression. And what we are witnessing at the moment is democratic resilience. My question is simple to the national government. You have failed this country, you have failed the citizens. Do the ethical thing and step aside. To the provincial and local government, if you've been governing so well for the last 15 years, why are we in a situation like this? Why are our children still dying? Why has the city regressed so far that on my way here from an event, I saw bonfires burning in order for people to remain warm? Just a few more seconds. What we are witnessing at the moment is episodes playing out of a movie known as Mad Max, which speaks to the future, but you have destroyed this country and we are living it now in the present. Please do the right thing and step aside. To the other party.
No, thank you, that's it. We're moving to the next party, thank you. We're going to come back to Muniwarini.
Goeienaand, ek is van Bossa, Musima Yamani. My vraag aan almal daar, ek dink ek het DA gewout vir hoe lank? Ek bly in Kaapstad, ek is van Bishop Lywes. Ek is 20 jaar op 'n waglys. Daar's mense van ander plekke, Eastern Cape, wat huise het. Ek is 20 jaar op 'n waglys in die Kaap. Ek besit hier huisie. Wat ek kom by die huisbehuising in Kaapstad, toe sê hulle vir my ek het al reeds 'n huis in Bontebang. Waar, wanneer, as ek nou nog in 'n Wendy huis sit, vir hoeveel jaar? Ek dink my seun het laas jaar matriek klaar gemaak. Ons het gegaan, ons het geapply vir universiteit. Daai 25,000 kinders aansoek gedoen. Net 500 was geaanvaar. My kon nie inkom nie, want die skool wat hy bywoon, het die vakbonde vir die universiteit waar hy moet studeer. Ek dink hy gaan by John Ramsey skool. Ek dink 'n Metslid. Daar was Pio-Mets wat weggevat. Halfte van hulle vakke was weggevat. En as gevolg van dit, kan hulle nie inkom by die universiteit nie. My kind sit nou by die huis, sonder werk, sonder belering. Wat het die DA sover vir my gedoen? Niks.
Al-Jamaa. Nee, excuse. Al-Jamaa, daarachter.
Assalamu alaikum and good evening to all the males sitting up there.
All I've heard from you tonight was a lot of nonsense.
Thank you, everyone.
The situation up there with the males is all the flippant blame game. DA, ANC, you've had your time. We had enough of you. We need new faces. We need leadership. And that leadership starts with women representation up there. I think as Al-Jama, I'm coming up.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so let's allow the speakers to respond to. Askies, my broer, daar by die ANC se geel hempies. Fadil Stoutman.
Thank you. The question is directed at the ANC.
Yeah, you don't have to hold the mic. We'll hold the mic. Thank you.
Question directed at the ANC. Can you simplify or just in simple terms explain what is the NHI?
Okay, NHI. Let's do this round and then we. Okay, so this is not an easy job. I think you should just trust me, sir. Ek sal right wees. Ek gaan nie daai man vergeet nie. Ja. Want ek het hom beloof en ek is nie 'n politician. Okay, Ricardo.
Let me start with the first question, and I think the first question is interlinked to the second question that the gentleman from the NCC has asked. So the first question is a very important question from the Good Party. Why did we take R1 billion to start the LEAP in the Western Cape Safety Plan? If you remember a councillor from the Good Party, a few years ago, there was on that Saturday, I'll never forget the Saturday, there was a Cape Argus article which says that I think it was a Cape of War. 49 people were killed that weekend. Now, I know some people might think it's a joke, but it's not a joke. So we didn't sit there, and because we all know the police were desecrated, the police were destroyed, detectives said with cases of 600, they should be with 250 cases. We said we need to make the Western Cape safe, at least try. So what we did is we went to look for money in the Western Cape, not national government because we all know they're stealing the money. We went to look for example. Let me explain to you how we found that 1 billion. So you know how we found the 1 billion rand to put on the safety plan. Say, for example, and it's important that you listen, this table was, in terms of government terms, you can replace it in 5 years' time. We asked the officials, let's give the table another 1 year lifespan. And let's take some of that money to help contribute to that billion rand. In under a year, wait, it's important. You ask a question, so listen to the answer. You ask a question, so listen to the answer. So we've managed to raise R1 billion to fund the Western Cape Safety Plan. So that R1 billion safety plan that we had to fund, because your bad partner, the ANC, collapsed South African Police Service. You sit in cabinet with the ANC national government. You destroyed the police in the Western Cape, so you forced our hand. So we went to go and find R1 billion to fund the Western Cape Safety Plan. With the Western Cape Safety Plan, we employed 1,300 LEAP officers doing your work, the work of 20,000 police officers. So the reason we did that, Mr. Councillor Good Party, because of your partner, your anti-Pet sitting in the cabinet with the ANC. Your failure to deal with the South African police services forced us to find R1 billion to keep our community safer. What we did with that R1 billion, we trained those 1,300 officers in help supplementing your work. So it's fine to scream. He asked the question, let me respond.
Yeah, so
that is the first thing. No. The second question that the member of the NCC raised a valid point. He raised the issue of why are we sitting like the Mad Max? You all know the issue of what's happening here at the Mitchells Plain police station. You were there. You were there. Fadil was there. You marched. We marched to the station. We cannot sit still when our police stations are being desecrated of highly qualified detectives, desecrated of highly skilled police officers. So we as the Western Cape government, with the city of Cape Town, had to fund Metro Police Office, a dog unit. The job of cities is water, electricity, and housing. We are doing the job of national government because we want to make sure our communities are safer. And we will not stop. It means we have to go look for another R1 billion, Mr. Good Council, for another 1,000 LEAP officers. We're going to continue to do so. The lady at Bossa asked a very important question. Our universities are full and it should not be. Higher education, ma'am, is completely underfunded in this country. NSFAS is a mess. Children in Mitchell's Plain, that shows me letters of being accepted by NSFAS, but they're not getting the money. Of the partner, Mr. Faisal Jacobs, sitting right there. Ek moet aan die nasionale minister to skryf, to tell them, there's a girl in Mitchell's Plain, Fadil, who got a letter. She was accepted by NSFAS, but they're not paying the money for her to go to Stellenbosch. That is the issues that we're dealing with on a daily basis. Yesterday, I was at Captain's Cliff Police Station. All of you know, the last 4 years, the rail has not been run. So that's a very important question. For 4 years, people sitting right here could not go to work because of these two people sitting right here. The ANC's Fadil Jacobs and Brad Herensgood, because they're sitting in the same party. We are fighting for the devolution of rail every single day because of these people. People of Mitchell's Plain, like you said, sit in traffic every single morning. Take an hour and a half to get to work. But we will not stop fighting for the devolution of rail so that people here in Mitchell's Plain, in Khayelitsha, can get to work. Because of the ANC Faiz Jacobs and Brett Herens good parties, a million people between here, Khayelitsha, Philippi, cannot get to work every single day.
Thank you.
So when we invest, Fadil, no, I'm not coming to you, I'm just saying, when we invest in the My City bus service, when we invest in the infrastructure to develop Mitchell's Plain, it's a coordinated approach to develop and build Mitchell's Plain. And we will not stop in developing in Mitchell's Plain, but we have to do it jointly with our community members. So when we fund our neighborhood watchers and our members working with us, walking the street, to help in making communities safer, that is what we do. That is where we're putting our money.
Thank you. So ladies and gentlemen. So yeah. My uncle, he's a problem. Because if you're going to ask a question and then want to dictate what the response should be, that's a problem. So please allow the other questions to be responded to. Councillor Adams,
I'm no longer a councillor, sir. No, I thought I was going to answer. Can I answer? Thank you, sir. So many questions have been asked, but I'm just going to focus on the minister's responses. Shamima Salih of Al-Jama, can you please respect me? So many questions were asked, but I'm just going to focus on the answers given by the MEC. The MEC gave us a very long-winded answer, but I'm just going to give him a quick rebuttal. So 1 billion rand was taken from health and education. 1 billion. But remember, this is from the same party that closed GF Jooste in Manenberg. It's not like there was a surplus of money in health anyway. Then they took it from our education budget also, and they call it for 1,300 LEAP officers. Now, we have committed, can I finish? We have committed CPFs, walking buses, and neighborhood watches working for free. They could have given those people a stipend and gotten 10,000 people for the same money, but these are the people that don't think. They promised that they'd cut the murder rate by 50% with LEAP, and you know what? It's actually increased. It was a bloody waste of money. That's number one. Now they talk to us about the railway that's not working. We know the ANC screwed up the railway. All of us know it. No one's denying it. Not even Faiz is going to. However, my city was given to us 15 years late. 15 years after Tableview got it. Tableview, just coincidentally, is a white area. They talk about developing Mitchell's Plain. Tafelsig het die pavement see. But Tableview has a lane for bicycles. This is how well they govern. They talk to us about safety and security. Let me tell you something. The ANC governs Gauteng. We can all agree on that.
Okay,
But the murder rate in El Dorado, partner, is going to be lower than the murder rate in Tafelsig tonight. That's how well they govern. I'm not done. He spoke for almost 10 minutes. I want to say to the lady of Bosa, who I see has left the building, she's here. She's here.
Nee, wacht, bro. Daar's vrae gevra.
I'm answering
vir
the
Mr.
question.
McKenzie.
The lady from Bosa.
Daar was vrae gevra vir Mr. McKenzie. Dis hoekom hy so lank gepraat het.
Oh, okay.
Moenie hy doen nie.
Can I do one last thing?
Please.
The lady from Bosa, she stood there. She was very, very admirable in her rage at the DA because I don't have a house and my child's not getting into school and all this type of thing. But the lady from Bosa must understand, your party president was the leader of the DA. He was part of what's happening to us. So hold on a second. I'm answering you. Can I answer? So all I'm saying to you, my dear, yes, but he never said a thing for colored people. He never stood out for colored people. The genocide of the colored people, it was at its highest when Musi Maimane was the party president. Now Maimane is here acting like our savior. The colored people have had enough damn false saviors, man. Thank you.
Thank you, NCC. Wat heb ik nader?
Health insurance. I think today is a good day to be a South African. The president just signed the National Health Insurance. Let me explain what the National Health Insurance, for those that don't understand. No, you need to know because everybody needs to know what's happening. In the past, can I speak? There was a question around what is the NHA and how is it going to be funded. So we have a national pot, money from the taxes and also from people that's going to work. In the past, we had a private system for those that were making profit out of health insurance and for the public system. Now we're going to pool all our resources in one pool. You're going to, if you need health, you're going to register for your local GP of your choice or your clinic, and you will then be able to get any access, whether it's a private hospital or a public hospital. So the National Health Insurance is going to make healthcare affordable and accessible to all South Africans. It's also going to ensure that there's going to be more equity and social solidarity. So it's actually a good thing that we're going to have health insurance that covers all our people. And health is not going to be no longer the domain of those that have and have not. When we looked at COVID was the great equalizer. So the National Health Insurance is going to be a great equalizer. Because what happens, health was no longer, we all felt that health was no longer going to be just for profit, those that can afford health. All of us deserve health. Health is a constitutional right. So the Health Insurance Act is about changing lives and ensuring that all South Africans get that. How will it work? If you're a doctor or medical aid worker or a health worker, you will be contracted in to the National Health Insurance. You will then be registered. You as a citizen, you then also have to register. All the benefits that will cover from the health insurance will be emergency, will be palliative care, basic health that will be covered, and hopefully it will be ensured that everybody has equity to all. You know, this thing is very important. And as South Africans, the DA won't want you, just like they don't support a minimum wage, just like they don't care about workers. It's the D.A. George government that pays people slave wages. That's why that building fell in. It's the same people. It's the same people that don't go. No,
So
let
was,
me finish.
Thanks.
So I'm saying a minimum wage is important.
So the question
South
was,
Africa belongs to everybody.
Thank you.
Colored people is part of South Africa.
Faiz,
Thank you.
Thanks. So your representative still wants to speak. Are you going to take his okay. Nee, eerst Mr. Christian asseblief en dan Clausen.
Thank you very much. Let me just say the following. I've been asking the Western government to at least give our neighborhood watches. We've got 15,000 neighborhood watch members in the Western Cape. I've asked the Western government at least to look at a funeral cover so when they die in dignity. So that is the one thing. The other thing I'm also asking the Western government sitting there. I said to them, when a neighborhood watch is accredited, they only give it 10,000 rand a year. I said, you don't need that 10,000 in Camps Bay. You don't need it in those areas because in Mitchells Plain, in Manenberg, they don't even have radios. They don't have those type of things. So I've said they must at least look at upping that 10,000 in the impoverished areas. Maybe just one thing. What we've also done, I came to Mitchells Plain every week for unplaced learners because unplaced learners, till a long time, there was a lot of people staying in Mitchells Plain, but they don't get placement in Mitchells Plain. They get placement outside of Mitchells Plain. And I've said to Alan Windy, the Premier, I said, why don't you accommodate the learners staying in the area to go to school there? But if you look at it, many of our learners are dropping out because their mothers cannot afford to pay the taxi to go to school. So as the ACDP, we've addressed many problems with our learners, sitting with them. The ACDP has done a lot. And we're asking the people of Mitchells Plain to give us opportunity on the 29th of May.
Thank you. Mr. Councillor Claassen, Freddie Adams, and then Brett Harron.
Just a comment quickly. I think personally the NHI is a brilliant idea. The problem I have is this. If the ANC has bankrupt most of his SOEs, my God, how can we trust them to put the money in the pot? Their money will disappear. The people will be worse off. If they can't even maintain the hospitals that we have currently, then how is the state going to look with you guys? I personally believe you are looking for money, and I personally believe you're going to use our people, the NHI, to get more money to loot. Then I also want to say this to the DA on my right. What you have done to taken from the budget of the education, 1 billion, what you have done to taking it from that is to increase the amount of learners in the class. And what you have done with that is to set our kids up for failure like you have always done.
When Thabo Mbeki was still the president, he declared Mitchells Plain a presidential node. Alan Zeller was there. Call it a premier node. Now I'm asking these parties, you are fighting and talking a lot of nonsense. Where is the money of the presidential node? 500 billion rand. Where is that money to upgrade Mitchells Plain? To upgrade Mitchells Plain. Where is the money to create jobs in Mitchells Plain? Where is the money? I'm asking Alan Windy. I'm asking Thabo Mbeki, the ANC and the DA, where is that money to skill our young children in Mitchells Plain? Where is the money to to create jobs for the CMTs in Mitchells Plain? Where is that money? Thank you.
Yeah, Heinrich, if I may just address the DA.
So,
if I can just address the safety plan and I think it's a really important lesson for all of us as we go to the elections, because what it shows us is that what happens to us is about political choices made by political leaders. And when they make stupid decisions because they have no vision, it affects us. Now, the DA decided in 2019 to take 1 billion rand from education and health. Those are their primary mandates, education and health, and to put it into a ill-conceived safety plan. Their promise was to halve the murder rate in the 10 most dangerous places in Cape Town. That started in 2019 and 2020. Let me just give you the stats. 2019, 2020, in those dangerous 10 precincts, 1,584 murders. This is the year that LEAP started. The next year, 2020, 2021, the number of murders, 1,692. LEAP has been in operation a year already. The next year, 2021, 2022, LEAP is now in year 3. Number of murders, 1,720. Next year, 2022, 2023, LEAP is now in its 4th year, spending our 1 billion rand. The number of murders, 1,778. The thing has gone up. Your promise to halve the murder rate is a failure. You took 1 billion rand from health and education. Health and education addresses the root causes of crime. If we don't have educated people, they cannot find jobs. If we don't have health facilities, people live in poverty and in dire straits. You have to invest in health and education and social services if you want to address crime. Putting undertrained learner law enforcement officers, which is what LEAP are, learner law enforcement officers, on the streets and expecting them to halve murder is not going to happen, and those stats show it. You've wasted our money. It was stupid political leadership and a stupid political decision.
May I have 4 hands? We've got 1 here, 2, 3, 4. Then, wat de handen? Wie van jullie twee? Oké. PMC. Oké. Waar is mijn broer? Die dame van PMC. En dan die pink ladies hiervoor. En dan, maar kom daarvan naar hier naartoe alsjeblieft, want die broers aan was eerste op.
Thank you, sir. My question to the DA, just 2 quick questions. First question, you've taken R1 billion from education. There's currently 2,200 kids not placed in grade 1 and grade 8. You are creating yes, 2,200. Just go for that. You are creating a generation of domkinders. If you are happy with that, say yes. Second is just a point regarding LEAP. We've just heard LEAP murderers going up every year. But you said your LEAP must arrest the Russian president when he puts foot in South Africa. I just want you to answer, do you think they can arrest the president when they can't stop murders? Thank you.
Nee, kom eens geef voor die broer daar, met die breinbaantje.
Good evening all. So my question is to the DA.
Thank you.
Regarding your safety plan that you had, right? You've allocated 610 million rand to JP and his toys, right? 29.7 of that on CCTV cameras, 90 million on gunshot detection, and 15 million on drones, where we have communities that's suffering, the colored community that is suffering. Why do you need 15 million rand of drones? Can't you call Takealot and ask them to give you a good deal on it?
So is that one question? Is that one question?
Went around everyone here and asked them questions.
One question. Okay, nee, je gaat er Mike Fati, vraag je vraag?
I have a couple of questions. You're going to allow me to do it. You went around to everyone, and my ass was sitting here patiently, waiting on you to get back to me.
No, sir. No, let's be fair. If you have a couple of questions, it means other people won't have time to.
No.
As meneer niemand. As jy nou net sê môreoggend te doen nie, moenie die mense se tyd disrespek nie. Asseblief.
It's funny that the DA is talking about time. You've been wasting time in Cape Town. Shut up. My next question is on the health that you guys have been wasting on, right? Basically, your MEC said in 2023 that you'll be handing over the clinics, right? The clinics has been sitting in your care, right? That was in July last year. In August 2023, you said you will be handing it over in February 24, which still hasn't happened. Then you wanted to launch, on the 1st of April, you wanted to launch new clinic names. The clinics doesn't need names. They need primary health care. That billion that you've taken it out of the safety and the health of the people of Cape Town. You should be ashamed of yourselves.
To the DA and to the ANC, I was a member of the DA. Be very honest with you, ons het geleer om te lieg. Nou laat ek gou vir jou in die ANC nou sê, Mackenzie, you need to go and fight the outside. You got the nerve and audacity to come in here to sit on the panel. You and the ANC still want to take the authority to lie to your people. We are all colored people. Ek wil hier uit vloekwoord sê nie, want dit is ek. Maar ek warn vir jou, gaan beklei jy en die ANC nou, daar buite.
So I've got a question. Can I ask three parties?
Yes,
Am I entitled to? Okay, wonderful. So the DA down in Atlantis, I must tell you, with the crime taking place on that side, you are all boasting about your LEAP officers, trainee LEAP officers, but they have also informed you how the crime has increased. I tell you, you know what? Must I tell you what your LEAP officers doing? Just in case you can't see on your dummy cameras that are situated at the robots, your LEAP officers are standing by the Wi-Fi towers because they have nothing to do. When there's somebody killed, they're standing around and laughing with one another as if they don't care. Get order in yourselves. ANC and DA, you are irrelevant to this panel. You are of no use to us. Then I want to ask the good party. Good party, what is your plan with the economy? Because you are saying that your major plan is 999 Rand for the unemployed. You want to keep people in bondage. You don't have a plan for jobs. Clearly, I can see that. Then the ACDP. You're going to need to stop putting your stuff on Facebook because you are never on ground level. You don't know what it is to help somebody on ground level. When there's a woman being raped, a child being abused, people being murdered, you don't know about it because all you do is you put some information on Facebook. Get order in yourself, please.
Okay, excuse, broer met die mic. Brother, was dit nog iemand? Was dit nog lady with a green? Ek dink dan jy's besig met 'n recording. Het jy al gesien op die TV?
Okay, I've got a comment and a question for Mr. DA and ACDP, who's not even listening to me.
Thank you everyone.
ACDP, DP, can I have your attention?
Hey, Ferlin.
Wow,
Ferlin.
that's very disrespectful for a woman. Thank you very much, Mr. ACDP and Mr. DA, who just ignored me. So my question was for you too. Mr. DA, please do not undermine us here today. Do not lie to us. Number one, you came here and you spoke about transport and you claimed it for the DA. And then Mr. Good spoke and then you said, but you didn't work it didn't work out, you failed it. So then you're giving two different stories. You gave examples of some people in Mitchell's Plain that got jobs. The DA didn't give them the jobs. Maybe you arranged with Golden Arrow to transport them, but they got it on their own merits, their own intelligence, their own skills. Not you, Mr. DA. And then you came in your manifesto and you spoke about all the troublesome areas, police, theft, etc. This is your place. Western Cape is DA run. You're insulting yourself and you're showing us there's nothing. So please tell the truth. Mr. ACDP, I am a Christian. You spoke in your manifesto about biblical principles. Jesus Christ himself was born in Bethlehem, Palestine. Jesus was a Palestinian. What biblical standards are you following? As a Christian, I cannot follow your standards. Thank you.
Thank you. So, thank you. Asseblief Ricardo, moenie weer 10 minute praat en dan moan. Vader jullie van, niemand het voor me vragen gevraagd, niet zo. Oké, ja. Ja.
I want to deal with the jobs question. It's not a question we must be light-hearted or ill-informed accusations about. The job crisis in South Africa is very serious, very, very, very serious. And the truth of the matter is, the Minister of Finance has told us that we're going to have 1% growth over the medium term. That means in the next 4 to 5 years. 1% growth. And we need at least 5 or 6% growth to create jobs at a meaningful amount that will reduce unemployment in South Africa. So if we have 3% growth, that's triple the amount that the Minister of Finance is projecting currently. If we have 3% growth, for the next 20 years, there will be 9 to 10 million South Africans unemployed. 9 to 10 million adult South Africans will be unemployed. The unemployment rate will come down to 25% from the current 32 or 33%. But 9 to 10 million people will remain unemployed because of population growth. Wait, let me finish, please. Let me finish. This is a very serious issue. So, what I'm saying, we do have a plan for jobs. We do have a plan for jobs, but it's really important for South Africans to understand that even if we create jobs, there are still going to be 9 to 10 million South African adults who will not find work in the next 20 years. And we do not want them to live with no income. Anybody who comes here and tells you that they're going to eliminate all of unemployment in our lifetime is lying to you. And I'm telling you now that if you would allow me to answer the damn question.
Okay.
Really. I mean, you asked a very serious question, and I'm trying to answer it, and you're interrupting me. This is a very serious question for many South Africans who live starving. You know that just a few months ago, I met a man. Let me answer the question. I want to tell you, I met a man just a few months ago in Nyanga who lives on cats. Because there's no food. So I'm explaining to you why it's important that you understand. I want you to understand why it's important and why I was explaining that no matter how many jobs we create, if we can grow our economy at 3 times the current rate, if we can triple our economy, there will still be 9 to 10 million South Africans who will be unemployed. And we're saying, while we are creating jobs, people who are unemployed without any income deserve support from the state. That is their right. It is in terms of the Constitution, it is their right. It doesn't mean that we've given up on creating jobs. We have a plan to create jobs. It means investing in infrastructure, fixing electricity, fixing transport logistics, and investing in small businesses, because we agree small businesses can create jobs. So our manifesto has a detailed section on job creation. But arguing for a basic income support does not mean that we're giving up on jobs. The reality is people will remain unemployed over the next 20 years at astronomical numbers.
Thank you. Okay, man, nee, wag nou. Nee, asseblief. Okay, so wat nou? So ko sego, wat? Ja.
Telling us that we must depend on money from the government. We want jobs, proper jobs. We don't want government to look after our people. Okay. We want our brown people to have jobs. Not been given a 350. Now you're increasing it to 995 rand. No, man. We want jobs, proper jobs. Come with a plan. You have no plan.
Thank you.
No. You're asking the same question again. I'm not going to repeat the long answer. But the point is, we do have a plan for jobs, but none of these parties, none of them, are going to create the number of jobs that will eliminate unemployment in your lifetime. None of them.
Thank you, Ricardo.
Can I just quickly say, and I'm just going to try, I'm not going to speak for 10 minutes, I'm going to speak quicker. I think Brett Herron said a very important thing tonight about the high unemployed at a national rate, which he says at our lowest point is 25%. We're already at 21% in the Western Cape. We're lower than the national average. It's quicker to find the job in the Western Cape than anywhere else in the country. That is because businesses invest in the Western Cape. And you ask a very important question, it's not EPWP jobs. The new call center here in Mitchell's Plain, the 2 new call centers, it is real jobs. But let me speak to the second point this gentleman was saying. The only reason we had to develop the safety plan, and it's the reality. You might not like the answer, but it's the reality. The only reason we had to invest the safety plan is because of failure of South African Police Service. If they didn't collapse the police, if they didn't collapse crime intelligence, if they didn't collapse the state security, if they didn't collapse the NPA, we didn't have to take the R1 billion and spend it on leave officers. That is the reality of the matter. You don't have to like the answer, but it is the reality. The second question that you asked about the CCTV cameras. We had to, and we're using technology to make it safer. The way we're doing it is exactly the point my colleague was talking earlier on. We're using CCTV cameras, we're using technology, we're investing in drones because we're trying to use technology as opposed to just boots on the ground. That is what an innovative government is doing. And the last point that I need to make that you were responding to was my colleague from the NCC. There is not 2,000 children not in school. It is not the truth. I think there was 2 at last count. But if you do it, it's all of it. Even the ACDP agrees all children are in school. Is that right? Because he raises it all the time. And if they are not in school, please give me their number. Once it's offered, I will go personally go find out why those children are not in school and go sort it out tomorrow. So you should not be quiet when children are in school, ma'am. And ma'am, if you saw a leave officer standing to a tower on his wire, please help us. Phone 021-480-7700 and help us make our communities safer. Thank you.
Okay, is daar nog enige iemand wat wil skree? Skree gou klaar. Skree gou klaar, dan kan ons met die conversation aangaan. As 10 o'clock mense, skree gou klaar. Let me hear the shouters in the house. Okay, so ons gaan nou kameraad Faiz wil respond en dan ja maar okay. Please go ahead.
Okay. Can I appeal to all of us? Can we at least listen, even if you don't agree with the person? Can we at least listen to each other? Because it's the reason why we are sitting here and why you are on the table.
Ja, nee man, nee. Kijk, daar is net, daar is een level. En dan raak het disrespect.
You see?
So nee. Alsjeblieft, Faiz.
Okay, I want to respond to a few things. The first thing I want to raise is that we, as Capetonians, people in Mitchells Plain, we need to be rescued from the DA here. The DA, no, listen, let me finish. The reason why I'm saying that. We are not, the African National Congress is not in power here. So you have a misconception of what's happening here. Brett was trying to explain the stats around. No, you don't. Because what he's trying to say is that while we're creating jobs, how do we create jobs? By attracting investment, by ensuring that there's a productivity by South Africans working. But at the same time, even if we do all the stuff, and if all of us agree, there will still be a lot of people unemployed. Can you listen, please? The issue is that we support the basic income grant. We support the basic income grant because there's a lot of people that will remain poor. And they need to have a social net. Just like this, just like we have.
Okay, nee meneer, alsjeblieft man. Nee, alsjeblieft. Ja, maar jy doen dieselfde ding by doing what you're doing. You're doing exactly the same thing. Thank you. Faiz, gaan aan alsjeblieft.
Okay. You see okay, let me just try to be focused. We are supporting a social wage and also job creation, and the job plans must be a priority for all of us. I want to come back to the issues that was raised by why do we use technology and why is it that there's still so unequal in South Africa. We spend a lot of things, I think the point was made now, that we need to use that money that was used on Spotter and all of these technology, we need to put more people in crime fighting opportunities. It's the DA that divide and rules. It pays some neighborhoods some money, for Burbs, and those that are not with the Blue Party, it's still then don't give them parties. It's a very clear thing. Why do we have to pay 30,000 rand for drone technology, but we can't pay our job creation on the ground? That is the issues that we're picking up. There's no political will by the people that is ruling here in the Western Cape.
Okay.
It's time for change.
Fernan?
Very much. Let me just answer my Christian sister at the back there that asked the question. All lives are important. There's more Christians staying in Palestine. What we're against is the terrorist group, the Hamas. That is what we're against. They are a terrorist group. They are a terrorist group. Keep quiet, keep quiet, keep quiet, keep quiet. That's first. That's fast. Keep quiet. That's first. That's first. That's first. That's first. We don't want the ANC in the Western Cape. Leave, 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 leave. The second question I want to answer is this. We have, sit down. We have,
Okay. Ek dink daai is die einde. Ek dink as die parties hele mense kan stil kry nie, dan maak ons maar klaar. Dat is die kerk uit. Wat is dat?
I would also like to respond at some
answer
stage.
the last
Only allow
question.
that side
You're
of
not
the
going to
room
be
to-
heard because people have decided they... Laat Fernan klaarmaak?
To help him. Just to the crowd, please, man. Please, I understand that many of you are excited and many of you want to speak, but you ask a question so we can debate it. These are your representatives. It doesn't help you shouting. He can't hear because you're shouting, so he can't respond. Like, I know I'm the worst behaved here, but what I'm saying is allow us to have the debate.
Okay.
So can we continue? Thank you.
I just want to say, you say we're just on Facebook. We are helping people every day. In Mitchell's Plain, we've got an office. Councillor Page is in charge of the office with Leader Rix, and we help hundreds of people. So don't tell us we don't do anything. We have officers all over, people, volunteers going out, helping our people. We've got councillors giving people food every day. So don't say we're doing nothing. You don't know what you're talking about. We are assisting people every day. Thank you.
Fabio?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'm actually very disappointed by Alder Fernan tonight. But yeah, that's his business. I just want to say to Reverend June, my Christian sister, I salute you. I salute you. I just want to do two things. I want to address, number one, the Honorable Minister. In his statement about SAPS and the decay of SAPS at the hand of the ANC. Let's not dispute it. But then look closer to home. Look inside of the city of Cape Town, where your head of law enforcement, of Metro Police, Reinald Makis, has been fired. How you people have protected him inside of that council when we've been calling for his dismissal for 2 years. You know, it is easy to throw stones at the ANC. Even Musi Maimane looked quiet when he was doing it. But inside the city of Cape Town, you've got 50 million rand fraud that happened in Strandfontein, in JP Smith's office. Yes, the concentration camp. You guys have not even investigated that, but you want investigative powers. You people are nothing but hypocrites. I want to say to Elder Fernal tonight that what happens in Palestine did not begin on the 7th of September. It happened in 1948. That if you, sir, are in support of the illegitimate terrorist state of Israel, that was in support of my oppression, I did not interrupt you. You see, again, you see, if you want to be a boss boy and support the bosser who are in favor of our oppression, then let me make you understand something. I did not interrupt you. I did not interrupt you. You're being disrespectful. You see, if you want to be a garden boy like your boss, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. If you are going to label Hamas as a terrorist group, let me let you know, then I am a terrorist as well. I want to thank Ara. I want to thank Ara tonight because Ara will end the ACDP in this country. Thank you.
Thank you. One question. My question is to the DA, right? So last year, Minister Thurston Simmons came into our community of Rocklands, right? He spoke about the Department of Infrastructure that receives a budget of 10 billion rand. Now say it slowly, 10 billion rand, right? Now I asked him, what is your responsibility? Is the schools part of your responsibility? His response was, yes. Now my question is, why is the schools lacking infrastructure and development? Hoekom het ons skole nie regte sokkevelle nie? Why is the Freedom Charter not being implemented? Why is the schools that was built in the apartheid not being destroyed en bou vir ons mense regte skole van ons kinders deserve it? Now my other question is to the same DA on the plans of Montrose Park, which this is the councillor here, and I know we won't be able to address it because hulle beteken niks vir julle nie. Ek wil vir jou sê, Montrose Park, op die planne wys het, Montrose Park, the farm, they're supposed to get a school. There's no school that was built in the last 15 years for Montrose Park. It's not being addressed. You are killing our people systematically, and ons kinders deserve betere. You are failing us.
Everyone, moenie so kwaad lykie.
First of all, I'm Ramesh. Ek is van die National Coloured Congress Youth League. My vraag aan die DA en die ANC regime is van Okay, right. Ek is Ramesh van die National Coloured Congress Youth League. My vraag aan die DA en die ANC regime is, hoekom allow julle mense van die Eastern Cape provinsie en almal anders in die Suid-Afrika om hier te kom studeer? Plus, dat gee julle vir hulle safe accommodations in safe areas waar ons kinders die bullets moet loop om by die skole uit te kom. En as ons lekker geleer het by die university, ons nou weer ons mindset change om weer die bullets te loop, wat is die solution vir ons? Hoe kan kry ons?
Okay, dankie.
Hoe kan gee julle nie vir ons die safe accommodations waar dit deserve?
Ons het hom, dankie Boeta, ons het hom. Ons het hom, dankie. Dankie.
Thank you. The first question is quite easy to answer, and I want our colleague to stand closer because he stays there. Both primary schools near your house, 2 of them. It's nice to ask a question, take a video and put it in Facebook. I hope you put my answer with it. Wait, no, listen, wait. You wanted the answer. If you walk from your house to Baden-Powell Drive, there are 2 schools there with sports fields, with, what's the turf called? With astrosters that the children plays every afternoon. So please put my answer with your question. Lentegeer and Cornflower Primary School. Who got, wait, no, you asked the question, you don't like the answer. And that money was part of that 9 billion rand was spent on those 2 schools. And there are 1,000 schools in the... No, listen to the answer, NCC. You asked the question, so listen to the answer. Wait, you asked the question, so listen to the answer.
Okay, thank you. Yeah,
you
no, it's
asked
fine.
the question, because what they like to do is take their questions and put that on Facebook. But put the answer to your spectators with your question. So on your question, the 2 schools there were there's 1,100 schools. So those 2 schools, including the other infrastructure that we spent, including the housing units that extortionists have stopped, which I know you know who they are. The extortionists have stopped that housing project, by the way. So those are including other, obviously the 9 billion is just not for Mitchell's Plain. So the 9 billion is for the whole of the Western Cape. But the schools that were upgraded, he knows them. And the second question from the NCC, by the way, I mean, we don't give people safe accommodation. I mean, come on, man. It's such a silly question. No one gets free. Everyone rightfully goes on a housing list. And I agree with you on probably the second part of your sentiment, that people who are there first If you on, like for example, stay in Mitchell's Plain, a backyard in Woodlands, and you're on a housing list first, you should get houses first. No one should jump you first. And I agree with that sentiment. So I agree with that sentiment. People should get housing first.
Faiz?
Can I just make a comment?
No. No, please.
Respond to that young man. I think I want to salute him. He's raising the issue of accommodation, student accommodation, and access to higher education. Let me respond. I think, that the ANC government-led government started the policy of NSFAS. Currently, we have more than 900,000 NSFAS applicants, South African young people on the NSFAS. NSFAS is for young people that were... Okay, NSFAS, the thing that we picked up in NSFAS was that not a lot of people are applying, especially from the Cape Flats. We need to ensure, no, let me tell you, the challenge is, what we need to do is that we need to encourage our kids to stay in school.
Please, sir.
Then you need to ensure that our kids get a matriculant. A lot of our communities, especially on the Cape Flats, focus more on the tafel of matric, but we don't focus on applying for the grant. And those people, those kids, those colored kids that do make it, we need to support all of them. There needs to be a quota for student accommodation. We need to ensure that the student accommodation is open for all our kids. We know that there's challenges in some of the universities, but that is not a policy, admission policy. I want to say that NSFAS is open to all, but the criteria is that you need to pass matric, and then if you are South African, no, my dear, you as South Africans have equal opportunities, and all of us, we do have equal opportunities. We need to move away from the victim mentality that many of our people have. Our kids deserve those bursaries. Our kids are part of those bursaries.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for everyone who came to be part of this event this evening. Thank you, Mr. Fadil Adams. Thank you, Mulana Khalil. Thank you, Mr. Marlon Trutter. Thank you, MEC Ricardo McKenzie. Thank you, Mr. Ferlin Christians. Thank you, Mr. Stan Jacobs, who made it happen. Thank you to Councillor Klaasen. Sorry dat ek jou nie weer kans wil gegee het nie. Thank you to Faiz Jacobs. Thank you to Freddie Adams. Thank you to Brett Herron. And we're going to give a last word to Stan Jacobs. Stan?
Waiting for the sound quickly. Can I talk? I want to say thank you to everybody that came. Unfortunately, time is against us. It's already 10:10, so we can't answer everybody's questions. But thank you for coming. We might have one just before the elections. Watch out on our Facebook page, and we'll be back. I just want to say thank you also to the Fredman Newman Foundation that came on board and collaborated. I want to say thank you to Wayne and to everybody that's here. Have a blessed and safe journey home. Thank you.